guys want to fire away.
How do you handle the environment with Michigan, 10 freshmen going there for the first time?
Well, you can't simulate it, that's for sure. We're not going to put a whole lot of emphasis on it. We've got an opponent who there's enough emphasis that we can put on and try to control that in terms of preparing them. In terms of the environment, all these guys have played in tough environments before, but not Yost. Yost has bounces and seems to be demons in that place that no other building has in this league. So trying to control it or putting too much emphasis on it, it just does us no good. Michigan's too good of a team to put more emphasis on the building than on the team. And we're putting enough emphasis on our opponent and not to worry about the building.
I didn't mean to suggest that you were putting more emphasis on the building. I just happened to ask that question.
We're gonna basically not focus on that. We've told them it's a difficult place to play, but more importantly, it's a very difficult team to play against, and a team that's all the accolades and respect they're getting from people they deserve. So that's the focus.
What stands out about Michigan's game?
About their game?
Yeah.
Everything. I think they're a team that they play in transition extremely well and always have. They play a very up-tempo game. I think they're underrated for their competition level. There may have been times before in my 10 years that their competition level maybe wasn't as strong, especially when you pushed back. This team competes extremely hard. And, I'm talking to, Blash played them a couple weeks ago. I know at Northern last weekend playing for a championship. They for a team that's as talented as they are, they compete really hard. Chris Brown is as good of a forward in terms of a power forward that this league has. Matt Russ competes extremely hard. Hagelin competes extremely hard. These are their top guys. Caparuso, so that is what I like the best, because I'm a guy that, those are the things that catch my eye initially, is just the competition level. But the other thing, and this is real, they play very well at home, and that's where we're going to play. So there's their team on the ice, and then there's the fact that I'm not saying they play poorly on the road, because they beat us twice here, but they're a team that plays very well at home.
First time you guys played them, or the only time you guys played them, back in the first weekend of the year, so that was a very long time ago. Do you feel that there's kind of an advantage or a disadvantage for BG in that regard?
I really don't. I think we're a better team now than we were in October, but so are they. I can't think of one. We've been watching a little bit of those games. We felt we competed pretty well over a 2-game period. Our decisions at times, our execution at times wasn't very good. Michigan put a lot of pressure on us special teams wise, whether they were shorthanded or on the power play, just like Miami did. So there's really, other than kind of what to expect, I wouldn't consider that an advantage, because they have the same advantage. So it's just it's nice to have played them before, even though it was early in the year. But not having played at Yost is, again, like we're talking about with Kevin, it's something. It means something, and so that might be a good non-advantage for us. It might be a good reality, because our guys don't know what to expect, and they can just go there and play.
Is it kind of a situation where you maybe weren't expected to be there? You've got nothing to lose. Just go, have a good time.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I'll talk about that a little bit. I was thinking about that this morning, because I think last night I said we've got nothing to lose, and I don't know if I believe that. I don't. In my competitiveness or whatever, we've got 2 games to lose. We've got a playoff series to lose. I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. They're supposed to win. They won the league. We finished in 11th. Blah, blah, blah. I think it's an advantage for our young guys to be going into a situation where people aren't expecting to win, other than the 25 people that we have in that room. To me, that's how you take a program from here to here, is expectations. And you cannot go into weekends expecting not to do well, and expecting not to compete, and not to win, ultimately. We're expecting to go there and play the game with a certain purpose, and focus on the details and the process that give us the best chance to win. The fact that they're the overwhelming favorite, if you will, and we're the underdog, that's something we really have no control over. And I do feel we have something to lose, and that's a playoff series. And I want to, you know, we're not gonna dwell on that, but we're just gonna focus more on preparing like we always do. When we had success this past weekend or any time this year, our attention to detail was very good, and our process was very good. Under a certain competition level and intensity that you always have to have. And when we haven't had the results we're looking for. Michigan is a team that will expose you badly if your attention to detail isn't very good and your process isn't very good. And that's what we're talking to them about. So underdog, those kind of things we haven't focused on as much. I know the guys are thinking about those things. I think this is going to be a great challenge for our guys to go into this situation and keep their focus, keep their poise, and go and play and see what happens. Because this is a place where, me included, I've seen lots of teams lose their poise and their focus in this place based on things they have no control over. And we got to avoid that.
Beyond that, are there specific things that your guys must do to compete?
Yeah, I mean, specific things for us to, we have to take care of the puck. We cannot be loose with the puck in any zone. We may think a turnover in the offensive zone is no big deal. This team will turn it into a big deal. This team will turn it into a 2-on-1, a 3-on-2 against quicker than you know what to do. They're a team that's built in transition. Most people don't get a chance to see Michigan practice. They play, their practices are as high tempo and up speed as any team you'll see. They just push the pace constantly. And specifically, we have to take care of the puck. And specifically, we cannot take bad penalties. We cannot. We only had 3 on Saturday. I forget I think we had 6 Friday and 4 Sunday. And 3 of the 3 on Saturday weren't good. 2 particularly weren't good. And again, well, you only took 3. Yeah, we can't take poor penalties against Michigan. They are hard enough to defend and take good penalties against them. We can't take bad ones. And we've got to take care of the puck. And that's as specific as I can be. There's so much more to that, but those 2 in particular.
You might have just answered my next question then. Is that what from this past weekend you need to improve on the most heading into the weekend?
What do we need to improve on the most?
From the northern weekend.
Yeah, from the northern weekend, I would say the one thing is a little better discipline. We need to do a better job on face-offs. And as good as Jared Brown is on face-offs and Northern Michigan's team as a whole, Matt Russ could be the best face-off guy in this league, in the country. You know, I don't know the other guy specifically, but I've watched Russ dominate people in the face-off circle. That is something we need to specifically improve on from last weekend. Because again, it's a detail, it's part of the process we're talking about. But it's something that we have to find a way to bear down and execute better on face-offs, because the more time they have the puck, obviously, the better the chances are that they're going to be creating something with that, and we need to have our puck time as well.
We gonna see Dave Solway this weekend?
Indications today, Kevin, are yes. We're obviously being very cautious about that. David has skated now 2 days in a row. Today wasn't a typical Tuesday because basically yesterday wasn't a typical Monday. So today was more of our normal Monday of get the bus legs out, some flow, had a little bit of competition amongst themselves, but not banging and crashing. Tomorrow we'll get some of that work in. So I think after tomorrow's practice will be the real indication whether he can play or not. We expect him to be full go for tomorrow's practice. And if that goes well, then I would expect to see him Friday night.
And Ian Roll?
Ian Rule, no. Unfortunately, Ian's situation this is one that's going to take some time. It's not getting exponentially better, and we've, just like we said last week, we took the pressure right off of Ian, and there's no reason to push the envelope and you know, be focused on something that's just not going to happen. So I don't expect to see him.
Anybody outside of the Northern Series?
No, we stayed fairly healthy.
Anything else for Coach? All right, good, thank you.
Guys.